A well-known and respected tech CEO, Dario Amodei, who heads a cutting-edge AI company called Anthropic, is raising alarms tonight about AI's potential impact on employment that could soon be felt. While he says AI can lead to incredible advancements like medical breakthroughs and boost the economy, he believes it could also lead to half of entry-level white-collar jobs disappearing and 10 to 20% unemployment in the next 1 to 5 years. It's something that's been talked about within tech circles for a while, but rarely so starkly and so publicly. I spoke to him just before air about that and other implications he thinks AI may have on society. Dario, you said that AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20%. How soon might that happen?
Well, let's, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. But just to back up a little bit, I've been building AI for over a decade. And I think maybe the most salient feature of the technology and what is driving all of this is how fast the technology is getting better. A couple of years ago, you could say that AI models were maybe as good as a smart high school student. I would say that now they're as good as a smart college student and sort of reaching past that. I really worry, particularly at the entry level, that the AI models are very much at the center of what an entry-level human worker would do. And so it's hard to estimate, exactly what the impact would be. And there's always this question of adaptation. And these technology changes have happened before, but I think what is striking to me about this AI boom is that it's bigger and it's broader and it's moving faster than anything has before. And so compared to previous technology changes, I'm a little bit more worried about the labor impact simply because it's happening so fast that yes, people will adapt, but they may not adapt fast enough. And so there may be an adjustment period.
You are running an incredibly important company in AI, and you know this better than anybody, or as well as all the names we know, people, Sam Altman and others who are working, Elon Musk in AI. Why are you raising the alarm? Because it's not necessarily, I would think, in your best interest, because a lot of the messages we hear from, at least publicly, from some AI CEOs and stuff is a little bit more calming, like these agents are going to be great in your life, and yes, there may be problems, but writ large, this is a fantastic thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason I'm raising the alarm is that I think others haven't as much, and I think someone needs to say it. To be clear, and I recognize it's always a difficult balance, right? I'm aware of my position that I'm building this technology while also expressing concerns about it, and the reason I'm doing both of those things is one, I think the benefits are massive, and we need to find a way to achieve the benefits and mitigate or prevent the harms. And the second thing I would say is, look, there are, as you mentioned, 6 or 7 companies in the U.S. building this technology, right? If we stop doing it tomorrow, the rest would continue. If all of us somehow stopped doing it tomorrow, then China would just beat us. And I don't think China winning in this technology is, I don't think that helps anyone or makes the situation any better.
I do want to read something that.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi Bahasham, Rahak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth, to the men on the highways and the byways that are pushing out this word in truth and sincerity, and to the remnant men, women, and children of the elect. To you all, I say shalom. My name is Ahyash. Back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahawashi Shai. Lord willing, this is edifying. I wanted to just play the first 3 minutes of this video because I think this is this is in the spirit of Bible prophecy, man. AI and the advancements with the technology leading to and then warning about mass unemployment, which I believe is I know it's no coincidence, right? We've been gradually watching Esau Edom kick the can down the road when concerning this this technology and where the world is actually heading. More specifically with the MOTB and the RFID micro C-hip implant. We saw the guy, the Jake who he had the Instagram post where he basically, or the TikTok post, whatever it was, where he was just like, yeah, I'm one of of many who now have this Neuralink implant embedded into my brain. And he was saying how now that he can control, store, download information with his Neuralink chip. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's where this is headed. But specifically with this video here, I wanted to touch on a couple of points that the guy from that company, the AI company, he mentioned. Okay, there's a couple of things that he mentioned. I think the first thing I want to address is he mentioned how the AI can wipe out almost half of all entry-level jobs, which is fascinating, just in terms of the massive layoff and the mass unemployment that would cause. Okay, because if that were to happen, and let's just say, for example, people look to try to get like some unemployment or any other federal benefits, what would that look like for those people? What would that look like for the economy of the country? It has a domino effect. And again, this is where we know Esau Edom is heading, just in terms of how he wants to build this country or this world back up under this new world order system, under AI, under advanced technology, under his and start to push transhumanism and people getting chipped and all these different things. And this is just where it's headed. And this is more information, this is more reports coming out that support the scriptures. Right? When you measure the times and you look at the prophecies, you're measuring the times concerning Revelation 13:16, Jacob's trouble, because again, the society has to break down first in order for them to build it up under this new system. So, we're looking at these prophecies unfold in front of our eyes, and these are the times. We're getting the signs, we're getting the reports, we're getting the information that support Bible prophecy. Okay, and it's a beautiful time to live in, because we know that we're drawing closer to the end. Okay, the end of Babylon the Great, the end of Esau Edom's kingdom. Okay, we are seeing it unfold right in front of our eyes. All right, for him to say that it could potentially wipe out half of all entry-level jobs, you know what I'm saying? It'll have an effect on a big effect on the customer service industry, because you can then automate a lot of the jobs that are currently being occupied by humans. All right, by men and women. I went and Googled this just for the sake of the lesson before I cut on the camera. I Googled how will automation eliminate jobs. Okay, and it's the AI overview says automation, including AI, is likely to displace jobs primarily by replacing repetitive, routine, or data-intensive tasks that are now performed by humans. And there's a lot of those type of jobs. You know what I mean? Again, jobs that are in the service industry, these entry-level jobs, some of these factory jobs, these jobs will get replaced by AI because it doesn't require human interaction or necessarily the human brain. Okay, and even with AI, they're trying to duplicate the human brain with the AI. So even some of the jobs that you might consider may need the human brain, AI is looking to duplicate how humans think, how they process information, how they respond, okay, to ultimately replace them. Okay, it says this can lead to job loss, reduced workforce needs, or changes in job roles where workers are required to perform new tasks that complement the automated systems. All right, it says here's a more detailed breakdown. I'll read a couple of these. It says many jobs involve repetitive or standardized activities that can be easily automated. For example, data entry clerks, cashiers, and certain factory jobs at a higher risk. And we're seeing, like, just for example, I'll use the cashier as an example. You go to a restaurant, they've had this for a while now. You go to grocery stores. Not only grocery stores, but department stores, you go to buy food, they have self-checkout. You do not need to meet with somebody. It's all automated. Okay, it's all computer generated and automated, and you don't need human interaction. All right, these data entry clerks as well, right? Inputting data into systems, into software and things of that nature. You necessarily don't need humans for that. Okay, these systems are created. Okay, this new advanced technology is created to do it, sort of like do it on its own. All right, certain factory jobs. Okay, you know, you got people moving in factory jobs, you know, moving, you know, boxes and different equipment and doing all these type of things. You have, you know, sort of these robotic equipment that can do that, you know, for you, and you won't need humans. All right, data intensive task. It says automation can also take over tasks that involve processes and analyzing large amounts of data. So you don't need somebody sitting behind a computer necessarily to analyze this data. Okay, even as far as large amounts of data, man, it's easier and quicker and maybe even more efficient with the technology versus a human. Okay, it says such as some aspects of legal work, research, and accounting. Okay, especially like accounting and, you know, and research, because you know, you just type some shit into some chat GPT, or you know one of these all other AI generated systems, and you can get the information that you need, man. You don't need people. Okay, and this is why they want to merge man with machine. They want to, you know, increase man's capacity. Okay, they think they feel like men, women, and children are in a primitive state, and it's low level. And when you merge it with advanced technology, this is Esau's form of creating immortality, everlasting life. If I can merge man with machine, with AI technology, and keep people alive for hundreds of years, you know, through technology, that's what this man's trying to do. This is Esau Edom's God complex. Okay, so those are just a couple of examples. All right, they're warning about mass unemployment and what happens. Okay, let me get this in the book of Ecclesiastes 12:3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay, so when the grinders cease, when the job force has reduced, you know, when the grinders have ceased, because there are few, because there's few jobs, there's less need for workers on these job sites, you know. It says the keepers of the house shall tremble, you know. And you in the first opportunity you give to these companies where they can invest in this advanced technology and not have to deal with people, not only deal with people from a wages perspective and paying them wages, because they'll save money on the technology, but also actually dealing with people. Guess what? The robot ain't gonna show up late to work. The robot ain't gonna show up with an attitude. The robot ain't gonna show up tripping. You know what I'm saying? There's more benefit, and as soon as you introduce that or offer these companies the alternative to humans, they're gonna jump on it, man. They're going to jump on it. All right, verse 4 says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, there's going to be a different tune to society when job loss is at an extremely high level, and people don't have the ability to earn and support their families. It's gonna have a totally different feel to society. All right, verse 5. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, because it's going to create a high level of fear. Okay, not with the elect though, because the Lord going to put a spirit on the elect to be calm in those moments, in those times, and to lean and fear and trust on in Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, right? That's going to be the difference. That's going to be the difference between the elect and everyone else. Also, it says, also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Okay, because what's going to happen is, let's say for example, once mass unemployment happens, and the dollar crashes and the economy falls and these things happen, people are going to hit the streets, man. Okay, people are going to hit the streets for their for some sort of restitution, man. Restitution. They going to need to be restored somehow, some way, right? You ain't got no money to go to the grocery store. Government ain't you can't. It's gonna come a time where you're not gonna be able to depend on the government and those benefits the way people can right now. Things are gonna be very, very vastly different in those times. Okay, vastly different. All right. Also, what he mentioned in the video, he mentioned the benefits of technology, how there's massive benefits to it, but the thing about it is that this is how they're gonna present these technologies, this artificial intelligence. Ultimately, they're going to implement and introduce the MOTB. They're gonna introduce it in a way where this is beneficial to you. There's such an ease of convenience that is attached to AI and attached to the micro CHIPs, and it look at all that you can do, right, with this technology. All right, look at the benefits, look at the perks. They're gonna present it in a way where it outdoes, it completely outweighs the pros are gonna outweigh the cons. That's how they're gonna present it. All right, they're going to incentivize this technology. They're going to incentivize the micro CHIP. This is Esau Edom coming down with great wrath. Let me get that right. This is Esau Edom coming down with great wrath, because he knoweth that a short time, because this is an evil work. This is the evil work that he's putting together. Revelation 12:12 says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. That devil's the so-called white man, Esau Edom. He's gonna come down with great wrath. This is a part of his great wrath when he collapses society, and he makes you crawl and beg for him to have some saving grace somewhere, somehow. Guess what? He's gonna be ready, and guess what he's gonna be ready with? That micro CHIP is gonna be readily available for you. All right, because there's gonna be some resistance, but Esau's gonna try to take, because he's cunning and he's deceiving that way. He's gonna try to take the least path of resistance. He's gonna try to take to implement this micro CHIP. This is why he's going to present it in a way where it's beneficial, and look at all these perks. If you're paraplegic, look what we can do. If you're blind, look at what we do. If you're deaf, look at what we can do. All of these different ways for him to present this. But there's going to be people who are like, hell no, I'm not merging myself with I'm not turning myself into a robot, because that's ultimately what you're going to be if you take that CHIP. And it's all tied together. All right, it's all tied together. When they really roll this thing out the way they're supposed to roll it out, this is why he's giving that warning. He's saying this is going to lead to mass employment. And what does unemployment lead to, man? It's going to break down the economy. It ain't going to be it's going to be all hell breaking loose out here. All right, 2nd Ezra 6:22. When the economy breaks down, when the dollar's not worth anything, okay, and even companies and businesses, that they're not going to be able to make money. You know, grocery stores are going to be, the supply chain is going to be disrupted, right? Even now, like the tariffs and stuff like that, there can be a huge impact on the supply chain, to where there ain't no food coming into the shores, and them trucks ain't got nothing to transport to the grocery stores. Guess what? Them shelves are gonna be empty. 2 Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty, because the storehouses are full currently as we speak. But it says, suddenly shall they be found empty. Okay, it's not gonna take much for that to happen. We're at the, hey, this place is at the brink of that. It's close to it, you know. And again, these reports that we're seeing, this is all the spirit of prophecy. Measuring the times, understanding what's happening, and linking it to the scriptures. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And the Wadi Yahawashi, for the eyes to see and the ears to hear, for the understanding and the the patience to believe, to fear, to trust you. The Wadi Yahawashi, man, because it's about to get nasty out here. You know. And he also mentioned in the video, he said he wanted to highlight how fast the technology is getting better, and how people will adapt, but they may not adapt fast enough. See, that's Esau Edom. He's been kicking the can down the road for a while, but he's ready. Esau's ready to roll this out, right? Because like we read in Revelation 12:12, let me go back to it real quick. Why is he ready to roll out? It says, therefore you rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. That's why, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. He ain't got much time left, and he knows that. So he's ready. He's ready to roll this thing out. He's ready to get this thing going. All right. That's why the dude in the video, he said, he wanted to highlight how fast the technology is getting better. The advancements, right? The people will adapt, but they may not adapt fast enough. And that's what's going to happen, man, because it ain't got enough time. Esau ain't got enough time. The Lord got this man, his rulership on a timer. And that sand is running out. That sand is running out of that hourglass, And we're here for it, because we want this man's society destroyed. We want this man's kingdom to be brought down. We want to see the end of this place, man. And these are the signs. All right, these are the signs. All right, so I just wanted to jump on here, quick update on the technology, the MOTB. Drop a few scriptures, man, and Lord willing, this is edifying. As always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, the elder bishops, the great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.